So here's third species counterpoint. All right, so let me write this down really quick. Hopefully I can fit all of these in. B flat right there. And this is example 8.4 in case you just need a reference. Half note. All right, so as you can see, you've got 4 quarter notes in each measure versus the 1 whole note. So that is third species counterpoint. So if we add it to here, third species is a 4-to-1 ratio. Or you can think about it as 4 quarter notes over your whole note. Okay? So let me try and pull this one for you. See how successful I am. Right. So we've got all right, well, sorry, that was less than perfect, but there's a lot of crossing of voices, as you can see in here. Anyway, so that is a 4-to-1 or third species counterpoint. So keep in mind, it's not 3-to-1 ratio, it's a 4-to-1 ratio for third species counterpoint. Fourth species is a little bit different. Fourth species is all about suspensions. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a half note rest at the beginning of the first measure, and then it's going to be a whole note to whole note ratio, except it's going to be offset by 2 beats. You'll see in a second. So everything's going to sort of it's going to be whole notes, sort of like a first species counterpoint, but it's like somebody took all of those whole notes and then shoved them over 2 beats. So you start out, every measure is going to start out with a half note rest, right? And then the real magic is going to start. And you're going to tie over the bar line like that, all right? I don't know why your book did this. Well, it's to avoid this right here, this F. Apparently there was no other option, so occasionally you do have to break up the tie. It's acceptable, just FYI. Sometimes you just have to pick the least offensive rule to break when you're dealing with counterpoint. Because there's no way to get around it without breaking a rule. So you just have to pick the best one. And we're going to end with our half note. And then finally end with our final double whole note unison. Okay? So it's going to be a sort of a 1-to-1 but / 2-to-1 ratio because everything is being held over. So technically everything is moving in half notes because something is changing every 2 beats. So yeah, let me play it for you. So it's all about suspensions, you know? So you're suspending over, and this one is actually suspending over these 2 movements. So yeah, let me play this one for you. So you get the idea, generally speaking, a couple mistakes in there, but so you can see it's suspended over each other. Let's see, and then finally, this is, sorry about that, 4th species, 4th. All right, so in this case, I don't know how to describe this ratio, but it's essentially sort of a 2-to-1 ratio, but it's offset. So you can think of it as something like that. So you have to think about it in a bigger picture almost. Actually, here's the deal. This is how you can call it. This is how you can do it. All right. it's got a 3-to-2 ratio. So you've got 3 moving notes to every 2 half notes. All right? So think about it in that respect. So it's the one where the suspensions go over the bar line, and they're always going to go over the bar line. So they're still equal to 4 beats, just like this one. It's just they've shifted over. So our last style of counterpoint is called 5th species counterpoint. And this is also known as florid counterpoint. All right? Think of it as flowery, florid. And all florid counterpoint is taking all of the other species and combining them. So this is kind of where we get most music that you're going to actually sit down and listen to and, you know, talk about. This is all 5th species because this is where melodies come from. You know, you put all of these different elements together, and that equals actual hummable, singable melody. So the first 4 species are sort of elements that build up to the real deal. Just that. All right, so here, as an example, just to give you an idea, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to play this one on the piano, but I'll give it my best shot. So we started out with a little bit of 4th species counterpoint, holding over the bar line, and then we jumped to, that's right, 3rd species, quarter notes. Popping back for a little 3rd or 4th species action. Oops, that's a G. Sorry. Generally, you don't see 1st species counterpoint in these just because it's super boring to just have a whole note versus whole note moving. So that's a little bit different. And you can actually even use up to an 8th note. Generally no 16th note, but 8th notes are permitted. Wait, no, that's right. There we go. All right, so this would be florid counterpoint. So you can see there's that actual sort of outline of some sort of melody here. Let's see if I can play it.